The morning of April the 27th, we had got up and I had got ready to go to work. My mother had called me that morning, so I sent a friend over here to pick her up. The tornado come through it was about 15 till 4, and what come through just leveled her home. I mean, it was awful. It was devastation, just miles and miles of it.
This guy that we know, he pulled up because he couldn't get through, and I said, "Will you take me over to my house?" Well, when we turned up to my road, I mean, I just went berserk. I got as far as the first house, and all you could see was sky. And then I see these two guys coming at me, and they just looked like they had seen a ghost. He walked up to me, he said, "Fern, you don't want to go up there?" And I said, "Yeah, I do, Nader. I'll check on my house." He said, "Honey, you don't have nothing left." It was devastating. My house sat right here. That was my driveway and my back porch. And then that was a room over top of my cellar. And this big tree was right there where that hole is. And I had a bench and all this and my flowers, and it was a 2-bedroom house. It was my home.
The quilt was given to me by a friend back in 2001 for a Christmas present. I left it at Mother's house after I got married and stuff, and she always kept things in quilt bags in her curio cabinet in her back room, and I told her, I said, I'm just gonna let you keep this. I said, it's just, you know, when I get older I'll get it and give it to one of my children maybe. Then when the tornado hit, that was the first thing, you know, after we sat down and started thinking, going through the house, thinking of everything we lost, and she said, "Carrie, your quilt was in there." And we just started crying.
My name is Stan Meyer, and my wife Leah, and we're both from Athens, Alabama.
All day long the sirens are going off, all day long, off and on, off and on. And it was just you just really had a bad feeling about these storms, more than normal. After one really bad storm had gone through, we looked outside and I saw this green and white thing way in the back of our yard in a mud puddle.
And I went out to pick up a lot of the debris out of the yard, and when I picked up this green and white fabric, I realized it wasn't an umbrella covering, it was a quilt. It was a picture quilt.
Later that day we heard about this Facebook page that had gone up where people could post pictures and things they found, so we put it on the internet, and within an hour somebody responded and said they knew her, and from that contact we were eventually able to get in touch with her.
And it's amazing that the quilt traveled some 70+ miles from Phil Campbell to our home where we could find it and now get it returned to Carrie.
You look just like your picture. I could recognize you from your picture. It's good to finally meet you. Well, it's funny how just one little good thing coming out of a terrible disaster can mean so much, and so you have to look at those good things that happen and hold on to those, because sometimes they are what pull you through.
The fact that it had pictures on it and it was personalized, we knew that it was important to someone, and we felt like we just had to find that someone, and the more that we learned about the devastation around Phil Campbell and that, we wanted to be able to do a little something to try and help her.
It's not just a quilt. There's a whole story and a life that goes with this quilt, and we just had to return it.
It's got pictures from day one, you know, when I was a baby, all the way up till the day it was made in high school. I think it was set down where it was set down so it could be returned to me. I'm just thankful I got it back.
We can feel good that we've helped Carrie reestablish a connection to part of her life, her history. It's a psychic reward that you can't put any monetary amount to.
I had never met them before. They were complete strangers, but they'll be somebody I'll remember for the rest of my life now.